You're inside the Press Box. Christian FM Sports presents Inside the Press Box, where we discuss all sports from our favorite high school team to college and pro. Here's your hosts, Paul Tipton and Gary Paris.
Hey, Vero Nation. Thanks for joining us inside the Press Box. Gary Paris, Paul Tipton here with you as we prepare to head into Week 3. Hard to believe already, Week 3 of high school football. Before we talk about what's coming up for Week 3, man, we got to revisit Week 2. Vero Beach on a long road trip to Gainesville, 3.5 hours to face the Buchholz Bobcats. And what a game it turned out to be. A game that Vero Beach got out to another early lead, 21-6 at one point. Bobcats did not quit. They fought back and not only tied the game, took the lead, and in dramatic fashion, Vero Beach on the last drive ends up scoring a touchdown to take the win and go 28-24 final score. And oh my goodness, Gary, I mean, a great weekend of football overall from high school to college. But man, I'm still riding high from that win of Vero Beach on Friday night.
It was one of those that you say to yourself, okay, how do we win this game? Last year we were ahead, and you had the thoughts about being ahead at halftime, 21-6, and that how would you be able to keep your lead? You think, okay, 21-6 sounds good, right? Sounded great. But guess what? Nobody told Buchholz that the game was over with, and it was a great first half. Great job of moving the ball up and down the field. The quarterback did a great job of running the ball. Everybody was keying Hillsman. Everybody was keying the receivers. So the quarterback, it wasn't Mons they were looking at. They were looking at E.J. White. And E.J. White had a fantastic game. And I love the way Lenny schemed it. Did an outstanding job of keeping this young man in position and keeping him with his, not to get caught up in everything around, but just do your job. And that's good. That's just an athlete wanting to serve and do a good job for his team and for his community and his school. I was so proud of E.J. White because this is the second game he's had now to take it under his reins. And again, here he goes, right down the field several times, throwing passes, running the ball. Paul, what a fantastic first half, 21-7. But then there is a second half of a game. And Buchholz came back and not only tied, they passed. They were ahead. They were up 24-21 and going into the fourth quarter of this ball game. And then to me, and I don't want to steal your thunder here, but it was a fantastic drive to the win.
Well, yeah, Gary, just looking at some of the numbers here, I mean, my goodness. I mean, E.J. White throws for over 300 yards, 315, 3 touchdowns. He was 17-23. What a phenomenal night. And I agree with you. Coach Jay put together a really good scheme that it didn't just feature E.J.'s arm. It also featured his legs as well. I mean, he rushed the ball 18 times for 92 yards. And I love the scheme. Put 5 receivers out there at some point, spread it out enough to where the numbers inside the box would work in Vero's favor. Great call.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He would get in there. He had an option to pass or run on the play, but he would look for the number of people in the box. And if they had 3 down linemen, 1 standing up on the outside and 1 in the middle, then he had the option on some of those plays to run the ball. And he did. He did an excellent job. What a great scheme by Lenny Jankowski. He understands his talent, and he tries to bring it to the best out of all of them. E.J. White's a great athlete. Mm-hmm. He's been a wide receiver or defensive back. Hasn't been much of a quarterback in the last 2 years. Yeah. He got a few snaps and something last year a little, but other than that, he's been a wide receiver.
Yeah, going through the scoring drives of these games, Gary, I mean, at halftime it was 21-13. And, that's you felt like Vero Beach really had the control in the first half, but getting that one score there right before halftime by Buchholz, you went, here we go again. We're kind of right in the same spot we were a year ago. And then, coming out in the second half, Vero Beach is going to get the ball to start the third quarter, and they do. They put like about a 9-play drive or 8-play drive together, but then turnover on downs. Okay, not what we had hoped for. But then the defense responds, and they force a turnover on downs by Buchholz. And then you're thinking, okay, all right, it's got us back in the game. So it became that counter-punch, but the counter-punch by Buchholz ultimately was the block punt that gets scooped and scored really changed the dynamic of this ball game.
It was it. It was like deja vu for them. That's how they won a game the week before on a block punt.
Yeah. And
they picked it up and they ran it in for a touchdown. And here they did it to us. So it was a little bit of a high snap, but the kicker, when he got it, he for some reason felt like he had a lot of time. Mm-hmm. No, it didn't happen. They blocked it. The ball bounced around. They picked it up, and they ran for a touchdown and making the game, as you said, big play.
Yeah, and another way you can kind of take the wind out of somebody's sail is not only did you get the touchdown, then you go for 2 and you convert the 2-point conversion, and now we're tied at 21. And it was just, like I said, you just felt like, oh, no, this is not going to happen to us again. But, man, give a lot of credit to this team as they just continued to fight. And wouldn't you know, in the end, there were some bounces that went our way.
Well, after they kicked the field goal to take the lead,
mm-hmm.
and 24-21, we're sitting here thinking, okay, we've got, 2 minutes or something left?
90 seconds.
90 seconds. 90 seconds to go. 80 yards.
Yeah.
80 yards on a play to win this ball game. And unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Now here you're on the voice and you're broadcasting, and here you go, uh-oh. You didn't go, uh-oh. You go, in the game now is Jordan Crutchfield. And I look at you, and he's at wide receiver, so they've taken and put him out at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I said, well, the only thing I can think of is that they're going to do a lot of 50-50 catches. Just throw it downfield and
mm-hmm.
hope Jordan, who's a big kid, 6'3", lanky, can jump, very athletic, and let him take a shot at the ball.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I said that as reason I thought he might be in the game because of that. I thought it would not be on 3 plays out of we had one.
We had five
plays
on that drive.
1 incomplete.
Yep.
1 run, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1 run.
1 run,
mm-hmm.
and then 3 of them to Crutchfield. And it was like, all right, number 1, he goes down the field, boom, right there to the he throws it up. He jumps up, he catches it.
Yeah, 30, 35 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going, okay, there's number 1. And like then I'm thinking, that's more like 90-10.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 90% us, 10% them. I want to see that again. And
well, you got your wish.
I got my wish. It did. And this time, the ball's thrown up. Quarterback's under pressure. He throws it over there. Their defender has his hands on it. Crutchfield takes it out of his hands and comes down with it.
Yeah.
And there's number 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was his. He said, that's my ball. I'm taking it.
And he did. And it was another 30, 35-yard, pass. Now, to set that all up, Gary, I mean, the athleticism of E.J. White, he got forced out of the pocket. It was pressure.
Yes.
And with his athleticism, he was able to avoid the rush, and he rolled out. Now, you and I were watching this, and we're like going, he could run this.
Absolutely.
He could run this. It was like wide open, and then he let it fly.
And I think that's the part of him that he thought that because he had a great athlete out there, he could have picked up 25 yards possibly on the run.
Yeah, or more.
Or more.
Yeah.
But he laid it up, and it was a fight for the ball, and it comes down, and he gets it, and he gets down inside the 10-yard line. And now you're thinking, okay, now we can run a play or do something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And there's on the play that he gets a high snap. A high snap. He reaches up, pulls it in, and I'm thinking, well, now he's going to have to scramble. He literally throws the ball high in the air like a grenade.
Yeah.
Like a grenade. Crutchfield sees it. He stops. The defenders go by him. He comes back and makes the catch for the touchdown. And that was then Derek West after during his interview or before he interviewed him. He says, "I got a new name for Crutchfield, Clutch Crutch."
Yeah, and it was. I mean, he did come up clutch for Vero Beach to help him get the win and go 2-0 with a 28-24 victory over Buchholz on Friday night. Now Crutch, he catches that ball, and it's a touchdown, and we take the 4-point lead with the extra point. But the game wasn't over.
Oh, no. There was still what?
There was still about 30 seconds, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, we went down the field in about a minute or close to it.
Yeah. And so, they get the ball. Now, they got a good return.
Yes, they did.
But then there was a penalty on top of it.
15 yards.
He was, and again, this was on the other side of the field. I'm not going to get in the whole debate about it all, but it was, from our view, it felt a little questionable because the fact that you've got a guy trying to return the ball. Now, these guys, they fight hard for every single yard. They don't go down with just a little, hit. They go down with gang tackling. And so we're trying to do that, and it ends up out of bounds. They get a penalty on us. They add 15 yards to it. So they're starting from midfield, and we're going, oh, no. But you still know you got to go 50 yards because they had to get a touchdown. There was no field goal opportunity out of this at all.
No, it was 4-point lead.
Right. And, our defense comes up big. And in the end, a last-ditch effort, Townsend comes up with the interception and seals the game.
It was just perfect. It was a game you wanted, you needed. You were playing a team that beat you the year before in the second half of the ball game. Vero Beach came out, and I'll tell you what, they did exactly what they needed to do. Revenge game number 2 from last year. We've beat O'Galley. Now we beat Buchholz for the second game.
Yeah.
And but it doesn't get easier this week, though.
No, it doesn't. We'll talk about Coco in a moment. But Gary, just kind of putting some thoughts together. You look at both of these two ball games, against O'Galley and Buchholz, and you see what has transpired. Your starting quarterback and Champ Mons goes down. E.J. White in the O'Galley game slides from wide receiver to quarterback and has a stellar performance, including a 51-yard run for a touchdown, and you tip your cap. And then the encore performance against Buchholz on the road, knowing you're going into this game as the starting quarterback, and then someone else obviously has to step up as a starting receiver, and everybody did. Everybody did their job. They did it well, and they didn't let certain key moments where we have seen in the past where you could potentially get down on yourself and maybe take one mistake turns into 3 mistakes and takes you completely out of the ball game. We didn't see that. We saw resilience out of this team. We saw these guys, step up and go, okay, we didn't get it on that play. We're going to get it on the next one.
That's a good analogy, Paul, because you're right. That's what I thought I saw, too, out there was that this was a team effort. Everybody contributed some way, somehow during the game, whether it was a block by the offensive lineman, if it was a block by the wide receivers, or if it was guys that goes up, makes great catches, or guys that made a catch to get a first down at a key time. They protected the quarterback. I don't remember him getting sacked at all.
No, I don't think so. And a lot of it has to do with his athleticism. He's so shifty. He's so quick. It is hard to get to him.
And what I liked about him is the way he stepped up in the box.
Yeah.
I want to say this. Hillsman did not have what I call a great running game because the key was to let him block and protect your quarterback as a lead blocker and allow your quarterback to run. And White did a good job of being able to do that rushing on that play. He had 18 carries, I believe you said, for 92 yards at the end of the game. And Hillsman had just 5 carries. But his blocking was phenomenal. He allowed on the passing game. He picked up several blitzes. This young man has got an ability to block very good, which is hard when you're a running back. You want to run the ball. You want to run your routes on the outside. But his strength was not his running. It was a pass catch on a little swing pass to the outside, and he catches it and goes for a touchdown, Paul. A big, big play.
Yeah. And not only that, there were some other key moments where he got another swing pass. We're in our own end zone. He got a little swing pass to get out and got a big first down and got us away from the goal, the end zone. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, you always talk about this, Gary. We talk about the keys of the game, and you always talk about, just take what's given to you. I think that's a picture-perfect example of that. Like, okay, the run game's not there for me right now. Let me do what I can to contribute as a receiver and as a blocker. And he did it.
He did a great job. Had 2 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. And that when you contributed, you didn't get 150 yards rushing, but you did a lot of blocking up there. You protected your quarterback, and you caught the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah, and again, we get the opportunity to look at all these stats. What was the most important stat? 2-0.
Yep. The one thing that I think that Vero needs to work on is penalties.
Yeah.
They got penalized 13 times in the second game, and and I think 9 of those were on defense.
Yeah.
And so there's some things you still got to work on.
Absolutely.
You're 2-0.
Yeah.
You got Coco coming in, and we'll talk about that. But here all of a sudden you got yourself in 13 penalties in the game, and that's something that Coach will probably harp on all week about penalties.
I guarantee it because when you're playing good teams, and we have been. O'Galley's a good team. Buchholz is a good team. You got another one now we're going to face in the defending 2A state champ in Coco. Penalties in any game can really hurt you. But when you're playing an excellent team, they really can put you in a bad spot. So, yeah, you definitely got to work on that. Try to do what you can to, minimize the amount of penalties that you're going to have in a game. You're going to have some. That's going to happen. But, if you can minimize the mistakes, then you give yourself a greater opportunity to win ball games. So, now you got the defending 2A state champ, Coco, coming into the stadium. Not an easy task. We knew this. We knew the first 4 weeks of the season were going to be a tough stretch for Vero Beach. And right now, everybody's excited. It's 2-0. Okay, you can put those games behind you. Let's focus in on the Tigers this week. Ryan Snyder's going to bring in a team that is 1-1. They won their opening game against Merritt Island in overtime, but then they lost last week to Mainland, another good team. So, you can't, Coach always talks about don't do score comparisons, don't do any of that kind of stuff. This is going to be a good team that's coming in.
Well, they're always going to be very disciplined. They're going to be a team that likes to throw the ball. Ryan Snyder is a former quarterback at University of Central Florida who had a tremendous career throwing the ball there. And so he takes what he knows and takes it to the level down in the next level down there. Mm-hmm. He's had tremendous success. Don't look at the number 2 ranking, the number 2 class. Okay, that's because their school is a smaller school than everybody else. They don't play a 2-class 2 tournament. Schedule. They play anybody and everybody all around. Mm-hmm. Now their district games they have to play in the class 2. But I'm going to tell you right now, Mainland is no 2 class, okay? That is a top team in the 6, I think, or 7A. They may even be, I think they're 6.
It might be 6.
6, yes. And everybody they play outside their district are going to be high. We're a 7.
Right.
Yep. We're a 7. So, they're willing to play us. They're willing to play other teams across the state of Florida. So they're a very good team. They may be down a little, but don't underestimate this team.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game to watch, especially looking at Coco right now. You and I haven't really watched any film on them all, but just looking at their stats from the 2 previous games. the thing that I think stands out to me more than anything is how many times they have tried to pass the ball. 101 times in 2 ball games. How about that?
Yeah, and they got a quarterback. His name is Champ Smith.
What are the odds?
What are the odds of Champ Smith and Vero Beach and a Champ Smith at Cocoa playing against each other?
Yeah.
People are going to go when Paul's announcing about Champ Smith. They're going to say, "Whoa, our big guy's now a quarterback for."
Yeah, he transferred and he's now playing quarterback.
But he has thrown the ball over 100 times in 2 games, and he's completed a bunch of them too. So. This is a very talented. The running game wasn't there, so they attacked with their passing game. They have a tremendous passing game. They lost, like Paul said, to Merritt Island in 2 overtimes.
No, they won Merritt Island.
Beat Merritt Island in 2 overtimes, and they lost to Mainland out of Daytona, who's a fantastic team, top-ranked team up there.
Yeah.
So, we're in for a fight. We're in for a fight. We know it. We played them a couple years ago. And we lost by they got 2 points, and
yes,
and we thought a bad call, a terrible call. Of course, we're homers, and we all think any call goes against us. There were 19 bad calls last week. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just. But we played them close. We played them into overtime, and we lost in the game.
Yeah, and I think maybe one of the more challenging things, Gary, will be trying to come off the emotional win
against Buchholz
and trying to get set, and of course, you got, a holiday weekend and all those kind of things, even though the team gets together, they practice, all that kind of stuff happens. But, we're all human and, and our emotions carry us, good or bad, they carry us. And so the coaching staff's got their work cut out for them to try to get these young men prepared for this game and not keep riding too high off the win from last week. I think it's good. Momentum's a good thing to carry into the next week. I'm not saying that, but you can't get overconfident in what you're doing, and you can't just think that, all right, now we can just go through the motions.
They were out there Monday morning.
Yeah.
They were out there getting ready to go for this game like everybody else across the state of Florida and the United States on a Friday night game. So no matter what holiday it is on that, you had to be out there. So it's going to be a great opportunity, a great game, very talented team. We got them at home, and that's a good thing because our crowd will be big and it'll be loud.
Yeah.
But it was a trifecta for me this week, my friend. The trifecta of winning.
Yeah.
Thursday night, UCF pulls off a very – I'm going to tell you right now, we beat – a very good, talented Jacksonville State. Now, everybody's going to say, ooh, Jacksonville State is in Conference USA. They're defending Conference USA champions. They are loaded with talent, and it was a hard-fought game. They came to fight. They're very talented, good coach, everything, and good coaching staff. But UCF was able, and again, here we have 60-some-odd new members coming across on the
I think the University of North Carolina is the only one that's had more transfers.
They have 70. Yeah. We had 63 new faces, and they saw what happened to them last night trying to blend all that together and make it happen. But UCF was able to hang. We won the game. It had a 2-hour rain delay.
That was terrible. I couldn't believe I waited through all that. I didn't.
He did not. He was at the game, but he did not wait.
I wasn't driving. I had to go with the guy I rode with. So we'll just leave it at that.
So then then Vero Beach wins on Friday. That's my second part of my trifecta.
And then Miami won. That was your third.
No. You all know how well that game was at Buchholz. That was such a great win. Paul and I both were so excited because we won on the road, and they had a good crowd there for them, and
they did.
And we had a respectable crowd here for us, and of course we had a great listening crowd and watching crowd too.
So
but
what was your third win, Gary?
My third win was I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think anybody thought that Alabama would come in.
There was really only one
person.
One person that was picking you guys to win.
I know, and I didn't want to have to give him airtime either. But
No. I'm not talking about our goofy friend Derek. I'm talking about nationally known.
Corso.
Yes.
Corso. Yeah,
Yes.
Lee Corso said FSU is going to win. Not so fast, he said to his friend across.
Correct. Yes.
FSU is going to win the game.
Yes.
And, folks, it was a great win. It was a great upset. So I had my trifecta. And how did
I had one as well. I mean, I've learned to appreciate UCF. I'm a second tier fan, if you will, of UCF. So yeah, it was good to see the Knights get their first win of the season. Hated the fact that for their season opener they had to have the weather delay and have a lot of the fan base not stick around for the ball game. But with a 2-hour delay, what do you expect? And then, of course, Friday night to get the win at Buchholz. And then Sunday night,
wow,
Miami Hurricanes.
Wow.
But that large payroll is paying off. They got the win over Notre Dame.
Yeah, that was a great game. Notre Dame was just 2.5 points favored. So I'm going to tell you something. 2.5, that was because
they were in the ballpark, weren't they?
That was in the ballpark.
My goodness.
That was a fun game to watch. That was a game that if you're – well, I mean, you won it. But I
appreciate it,
and I support your school, and because
sorry, Coach Ray Hall. Sorry, Coach.
Yeah. But that was a great game to watch. It was fun. It was an exciting game, and if you're a Miami fan, you deserve to be in the top 10. You are a top 10 team, and I don't think that Notre Dame should be outside the top 10. They played as well.
Yeah, and you got an interesting scenario going into this next week as far as any rankings are concerned, because you had one facing two, tight game, wasn't a blowout by any stretch.
No.
Then you got 6 and 10 playing each other. So who's the odd man out? That's going to be the real question.
And to me, Texas and Ohio State, again, that was played in Ohio State, and Texas. It was, a 14-7 game or something, and that was so close, it was unbelievable. And but again, somebody has to lose, and they
do.
They did, but that doesn't take them out of the top 10 to me.
And then you got LSU and Clemson playing, and LSU gets a win. So there's I like these marquee matchups, but man, to have all this shuffling so quick in the season, it's going to be interesting to watch.
It's almost like you don't want to see preseason rankings,
right?
Because nobody. Right. But the reason they do it is television.
Of course,
they want to have 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3, right. And it was just like Boise State got beat by South Florida. Yeah. I mean, bad.
Right.
So is South Florida that good, or was Boise State that bad? Because Boise State last year was in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's an early preseason. Well, last year Florida State was ranked 10th. They were 2 and 10 right. for the rest of the year. They only won 2 games, so they started out 10th, and that was based on last year's performance. That was the same thing with Boise State, based on last year's performance. Mm-hmm. But they'll get it right. They shouldn't. To me, but because of TV, that's how they do these preseason polls.
Yeah, you're right, GP. And, of course, now we're heading into, week 1 of NFL. That's going to be kicking off this week as well. And so it's going to be interesting to see how some of these teams develop and see, have they made improvements to their team? I mean, the Dolphins, how are they looking this year, buddy?
You know something? I told you I was talking about at UCF, we had those 63 new faces. There's too many unknowns.
Yeah.
Too many. We didn't know what quarterback. Are they going to make a change at quarterback? Mm-hmm. Our wide receiving core was all new. None of them were,
right.
So defensive backs and linebackers. And there's so many unknowns.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel about the Dolphins right now. Mm-hmm. Are they going to just be a 9-7 team? Are they going to be a 8-8 8-10 team or 8-9 team.
The easy answer is it depends on your quarterback.
Yeah, if Tua can have a great year and stay healthy,
correct,
then we have a shot, and that's a big if, and that goes with a lot of others too.
Yeah.
But it's a
well, and I feel the same way about the 49ers right now. They made a lot of changes in the offseason. Some I don't really understand, other than it's just pure business decisions. But what are they going to be like? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if the decisions they made with trading away certain players and whatnot, is that going to make them better? I'm not
that one kid who was the Army Swiss Knife.
Yeah, Debo Samuel. He's playing for the Commanders now.
Yeah, come on. That's your Army Swiss knife.
I did not like that change at all.
No, neither did I. And I'm because of you. I kind of watch them all the time. But when I get a chance, I like Brock and I like the Debo and all the kids they had on the team. They made it good. They got a good tight end.
Yeah.
And Kittle, and they got good receivers. But when they got rid of Debo, I went, what?
Right.
I didn't understand that.
Right.
That one I don't. But then again, I'm not in upper management. They didn't they didn't call me up and say, "What do you think about this trade?"
Yeah. Neither one of us got that call. So, all right. Well, we got some great football ahead of us this week. That starts, at least for us as fans, it starts with us on Friday night with Vero Beach taking on Cocoa. Hey, by the way, make sure to get a ticket for this game. It's going to be a great atmosphere. You love being there at the Citrus Bowl. You can get your tickets at the high school. Just either call them up or go by and visit them. They'll be able to get you tickets for that ball game. And come out and support the boys because it's going to be a great night on Friday night there at the Citrus Bowl in Billy Livings Field. Gary Parrish, Paul Tipton, we're inside the press box. Thanks for joining us. As always, go Indians.
Thanks for joining us inside the press box. For more, go to ChristianFM.com.